Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the number one source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.
Hey, fine folks. Good evening. This is Freedom Fighter, and welcome to Saturday Night Dialogues. It is the 31st of May, 2025. Time is flying. We have a very jam-packed call for you tonight. We're going to get rocking and rolling so that we don't belabor the moment. Let's jump into some prayer and get things kicked off. Father God, we come to you in grace with honor and glory. We thank you for, as always, being able to shine your light upon us. We ask that you, and tonight while we're on the call, shine your light through us so that we're able to bring forth the message that any and everyone can receive that is hearing this, no matter where they are, no matter what time that they're going to be able to listen to this, whether it's live or recorded. We ask that you give people the sound mind of wisdom and knowledge and a heart to receive the message as well. And we encourage, Father God, we ask for you to lay it upon the hearts of anyone that listens to this to be able to research what it is that we're sharing, be able to go back and do their own due diligence to get the confirmations they need. And we hope that our message overall reaches just even one that might not be prepared or think that it's necessary to prepare themselves. We hope that this message is able to lay upon their hearts to do so tonight. And we ask that if anyone that may be listening to this, no matter what they're going through in their lives, whether it's trials, tribulations for themselves, their family, health issues, no matter what it is, we ask that you allow everyone to be able to have healing, whether it's mental, emotional, financial, physical, whatever it is, so that they can continue on their lives and on their journey. In your precious name we pray. Amen. All right. Quick announcements for you folks. Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room. As you probably are aware by now, the hours and days have changed. It is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. We are closed the weekends now. We believe that we've done a pretty decent job in getting everyone up to speed on what's going on and in the global financial news for the RVGCR. So we're able to take a day off. But also the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room is where we are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Preparing and helping folks with understanding the process of the RV, how it's transpiring on a daily basis. And then also that is where we're able to, along with Wiley, the tribe, and myself, we're able to help share and prepare folks for the RV. Dee's room, where she drops articles throughout the day, the evening as well, what's happening in the global markets related to global finance. And then we have the crypto finance newsroom with Dave Rose Big Dog, where all things related to crypto, you're able to go there and ask your questions. Then we have, of course, the daily podcast that is posted on YouTube, and that's Goldilocks Global Banking News, where we're able to bring you every single day the breakdowns of Goldilocks' daily articles showing you exactly what is happening, transpiring with the RV. For those who've been following, you have been able to follow in a very succinct way to see daily what's transpiring, how it's happening. And then for those that have been following, you're able to get your confirmations from bankers in the banking system who are also getting prepared. And we're going to touch on that tonight as well. We had a very special call with a young lady from the UK named JLT. That call will be posted in the next couple of days. We had that call Friday, I believe it was, where she shared her bank update in the UK, and she will be having her face-to-face with that banker in the next 8 to 9 days. She was able to get some very good, great confirmations on the phone with her bankers, even to the point where vice president of the wealth management department ended up calling her, and she will be meeting with that team. And like I said, in the next 8 to 9 days, that call will be coming out. It was very, very, very impactful. All right. Tonight, we're going to touch on the topics will be how currency exchange rates happen. How currency exchange rates happen, and then you're going to see what's happening with these tariffs and what's related to them to confirm how exchange rates change and how. Then we're going to touch on showing you that banks are preparing for the RV. Then we are going to express how you need to prepare for the RV as well. All right. We have, of course, the amazing Peculiar Ram that is going to read our articles tonight. And then we have two amazing folks that are going to share their updates with you tonight, their bank updates. It's going to be Sparkplug and Lady Unique. We're going to go to Sparkplug first. I think I see you, Sparkplug. Sparkplug, you can unmute. And then we're going to go to the amazing Lady Unique.
Greetings, family. Greetings, family. How you doing?
Greetings, beloved. Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Everything is good, man. It's good to be alive, brother.
Hey, man, we woke up this morning. God gave us breath. It's good to put our right in front of our left.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an honor, man.
It's an honor. Yes. I'm glad. It's good to hear your voice. I love your energy that you bring forth in the room. I love the updates that you shared most recently in the room. And I'm glad you were able to take a little bit of my banter, being that you're a Cowboys fan.
Yes, sir.
I'm a Steeler fan, so I couldn't help it.
You got it, brother. You got it, man. What all you done done for me, you can bat as much as you want. No complaints.
Hey, man, it's all love. It's all love, man. It's all
Yes,
love.
sir.
Now
Yes,
you've been I believe in the room you stated for about 6 months. I believe you said
January is February. Yeah, I had hip surgery in January. I broke my leg in January, right when I came home. So, but the middle of January toward the 1st of February. Yes,
okay,
sir.
wow. And so you were kind of lurking for a while, then I'm glad that and hope that you're making a good recovery from your
Yes,
surgery.
sir. Absolutely.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. And so if you could share with the world what you shared in the room,
Right.
it would be phenomenal, because you've made some tremendous strides. And I believe a lot of people, you can inspire so many people by just sharing your story.
It's funny how it really took place. Of course, I'm one of your guru foo-foos for some years, but I've been kind of knowing what's been going on and what's supposed to happen, but the last
Right.
15 to 20 years. About a year and a half ago, I'm a New Orleans boy, but I'm on the Baton Rouge end. So about a year and a half ago, I just wanted to go to the bank to find out all what I hear, but was it true? Of course, I didn't go in that ignorant way and ask questions. I kind of weasel my way in, and so happened I went into the local branch, and happened the bank manager was there, but it was another lady there. So when I went to introduce myself, I said, "Yeah, what I have to do? I'm trying to see. I'm interested in. I have a few pieces of foreign currency, see, and I want to see, what about about exchanging it, or if you have it to be exchanged. And of course, they gave me the list. You had to have an account with the tier one bank, the major bank. He said,
Mm,
we want you to
that's that's
we
very
need you to go ahead. Yeah, they want you to
have
open
an
an account. I said,
account.
well, first.
Right.
So she was like, for some reason, the bank manager said, what type of currency do you have? And I told her, she said, well, if you give me 5 minutes, I want you to come to my office. So I went in the office. Well, this little lady asked could she come sit in. And I'm looking like, okay, I don't care. I just want to just find out if it's true. I said, well, I kind of heard, I had some articles that I had printed out. At that time, I believe I had one of the articles with the um some of our banks been meeting with Iraq and stuff like that. I say so, and I went back about the exchange that happened back in 90 to 91. And I said, I wonder if this true about the Iraqi dinar, maybe go revalue, and a few other currencies might try to revalue it. She went off on me. The bank manager, like, I'm from Trinidad, I got 500,000 Trinidad, and it's not gonna revalue, but it's the catch. That little lady was sitting over her. I'm at her desk, but a little lady was sitting over her right shoulder. So I'm talking about the dinar and kind of what I feel was gonna happen, what happened in 1991. She is laughing her butt off. She was turning pink and red, shaking her head like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm like, we got back to
So,
make the
so let me
story
ask you a
short.
question.
So go
Let me
ahead.
ask you a question. Is this the moment that you were saying that you had guru breath?
Yes, but I didn't go in. I didn't go in that crazy way. I went in like I'm just was the dummy trying to. I heard this. Is this true? I didn't go in with the about the revalue. I went in really like I was trying to figure out is there any truth to the what all I've been hearing?
Okay,
Because
so what I would like
freedom.
for you to do is this. So in the best interest of time,
Okay, okay,
what I would like for you to do is I'm glad you shared that. That's very, very
right,
important. So people to know what not to say and what not to do. What I
right.
would what I would like for you to do now is to fast forward to where
Okay,
you followed the steps and got it right
okay,
and was presented with where you're at now. Share that with us.
okay. Okay, cool. Well, the little lady, she's the regional manager. So she gave me a call as I was leaving out. She told me, call her when I think I'm ready. Well, listening to you, you've been like pushing like it's time now. So I emailed her about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
She didn't email me, but I got an email from a lady from the private, and I emailed, just spoke to her, let her know that I think we getting close. Well, I got an email from a private, the private wealth manager.
Right.
From and I'm like, and then she said she called me. So she called me this week. She introduced herself. She said, I want to. How can we help you? I said, well, I'm expecting a I'm expecting an inheritance, and I want to kind of know, try to get it set up right. I don't want to no foolishness going on. I want to try to put the money in the right place and make the right decision. She said, oh, no problem. And then oh, so I got another question. My papa gave me some currency, foreign currency, and he said one day that it might be worth something. So I also have a little bit of that too. She said, oh, no problem. She said, well, she gave me her name. She said, well, my job is to build your team. She went straight to it. She said, I am a fiduciary. She said, do you kind of know how much you have or kind of much is expected? I said, well, I can give a guess. I'm not sure. I said low seven figures. I just said, it's low seven figures. She said, well,
Mm-hmm.
my job is to build your team and put all the people in place. She said, but you can look at it. You're going to be dealing directly with me because I will take care of all of your private banking. It's her. And I'm like, okay. She said, well, you can look at me as being your quarterback. You tell me what you need,
Mm-hmm.
and I will facilitate it for you. She said, I'm going to send you an email with a list
Mm-hmm.
of services that we offered. And she sent me an
Mm-hmm.
email with a list of all the services from the taxes to the trust to
Mm-hmm.
the investment side to the. She said, and I will be texting you periodically and checking in with you. I'm giving you my personal cell phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you need at any time,
Mm-hmm.
you're free to call me, even on weekends. Freedom. Mr. White, I didn't say nothing though. She didn't even give me a chance to give the spiel. You know, she came at me, so she already knew, man. She already knew that the regional manager, when I emailed her 2 weeks ago, she had to contact her because she contacted me and she already knew what time it was. So really she went from 1 to 100. 0 to 100.
So and these were the same individuals that initially told you, that basically laughed at you the first time. Is that correct?
Well,
the different people?
The branch manager laughed at me, but the other lady that I was telling you about that was laughing, that's the regional manager. She was shaking her head yes, that I knew what I was talking about. That's why I was telling the story about her. And she gave me her personal card, and when I emailed her after your call, not last week, but the week before, I got the email last week from the private banker, and she called me this week. So they already knew.
Yes, she was already contacted by the bankers, by the lady at the branch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then she's out of Florida. I said, well, I'm in Louisiana. She said, ain't no problem. She said, I don't have a problem with getting to you or put the right people to come to you. And I explained to her about my surgeries. So she was like, how bad are you? Can you move? I said, well, I'll move some. She said, well, that won't be a problem either. We would come to you if we have to. She said that. I'm like, whoa. In the email that she sent me, Mr. Freedom, she got all the list of all the services that she could offer me. She said, and look at me, your quarterback. You let me know what you need me to do, and I will build your personal team, and I will deal directly with your banker. I will deal with you personally. She sent me that office number. Yeah.
This was a unicorn situation, if you will, because they seem to have you met someone that completely bypassed their own hurdles that they normally would have, and it was like you had some invisible angels sitting on each one of your shoulder. They saw those angels and said, well, we're just going to just wrap our arms around him and take care of him. We're going to quarterback him and get his team together. So you didn't even get a chance.
No, sir.
To be able to how can I say this? To go through the steps and the process of establishing your relationship, because they just went straight to let's skip the drinks, let's skip the the first date, let's get a room.
Yes. And Mr. Freedom, she went to Dallas. When she sent me the list, list of the investment in insurance. She said we got the investment in insurance properties that's not FDIC nor government government agency. She sent me she sent me a list of stuff that they offer. She said charter banks and extended groups. So I'm like, wow, I don't understand. That was she sent me. Are you
6'9", blue eyes, blonde hair, tan, 225 pounds of muscle? Is this why they really took a liking to you or something? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, brother, I ain't 10 pounds. So they went.
Wow,
I didn't get a chance to do my Mr. Freedom and my Mr. Wiley spiel because I was ready. I was gonna light them up, but it lit me up. I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what to say.
This is what I'm going to encourage you to do. I would encourage you to get your feet wet with other banks and private wealth managers as well. You need to get that experience under your belt of going through that process of establishing relationships with other tier ones or I should say wealth managers as well. This particular situation that you had is 1 in a million. Cherish it, appreciate it, but at the same time, I would encourage you to, in your words, your Wiley and Freedom spiel, you need to get that experience under your belt elsewhere as well. In addition to what you've now, and also I would encourage you to continue to build your relationships with these ladies at the same time Continue to build those
Right.
relationships,
Right.
but also you need to branch your spread your wings as well with other options.
Mr. Freedom, I already have. I've been I don't know why Mr. Wiley don't feel me trolling his room. And I've got three other facilities between I've heard Mr. Wiley say three different times. He mentioned this, so I'm miss what he mentioned. He's mentioned about the family office.
Mm-hmm.
He's mentioned about the asset protection.
Mm-hmm.
And he's mentioned to the IUL. So you actually was I going anywhere else? Reason
Mm-hmm.
why I told you not really because I'm only going to need them to do my transfer. After that, it's
So
going somewhere. So now I've talked to all three of them.
gotcha. You've done your homework. You've been
Yes,
digging into Wiley's notes.
yes,
So see now I also see your preparedness and how you're prepared. And this is what we're going to talk about tonight and share tonight as one of our topics is being prepared for the RV. And I can tell based on what you're saying and how you've been digging into Wiley's room and you've just been sitting back like a sponge, soaking all this in. You've been preparing yourself.
I have relations with all three branches. What I just mentioned to you already. Matter of fact, I've talked to them multiple times. All
I'm
three
not
different divisions.
I'm not surprised because I can tell you have the personality that you just light up a room. Everybody just falls in love with you. You build relationships easily. I can tell. I love it. Speaking of Wiley, let's get Wiley on here. Wiley, you want to chime in here? This unique situation.
Yeah, I think that's great that the banking institution broke their own chain of client relations just to get him straight to the top, which
Mm-hmm.
really don't happen a lot because banks are very, very structure oriented. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge milestone and win. But I think the big thing tonight, hearing you speak, is you own your path. Your path is
Mm-hmm.
not like anybody else's, and nobody else's will mirror yours. And that's the most important piece. Is just go down your path and do what you need to do and keep growing because this thing just
Yes,
seems
sir.
to it's unfolding for you in a great manner, in fact a fashion that
Mm-hmm.
I would just keep nurturing it. Also, I like that you got the bank. I like that you got some private wealth management too. That's great for the diversity.
Mm-hmm.
um, Build on that client relationship you have now. But I think
Yes,
when you
sir.
get into the private wealth management, you're going to see that they can do far larger things. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying just go there.
Absolutely.
I'm saying they're going to be able to go deeper into some of those that the bank is going to be able to do. So
Mr.
just be cognizant of
Mr.
that.
Freedom, Mr. Freedom, watch this. Mr. Wiley, I'm Anthony. I'm the one sent you everything what I'm doing. You gave me thumbs up. I'm Anthony. I spoke to you earlier in the week.
Okay, perfect,
Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
yes,
perfect.
You
yes.
you're very astute. You're very astute. And again, I love your preparedness. You've done some serious homework.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Freedom.
Wow.
What's
That's what.
amazing though is these people dismissed him a year ago, called him out of the
Right.
blue, and say, "Will you
Right.
come back in?" And not
Right.
one girl kept his number and name.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes,
And
sir.
look
That's
how
That's
what
it
happened.
unfolded for him in
yeah.
just a year made.
That's amazing.
Yes, sir.
It's
Yes, sir.
amazing. Yeah, you're right, Wiley. It's like because one is sitting there giving him the cold shoulder, excuse me, when the other one is sitting back smiling like, "We got you. Don't worry. I'm gonna hit you up a
Yes,
little later. I'm gonna call
yes,
you when the time is right." And
yes,
Well,
that's what she did.
she's taking mental notes like I'm going to get this guy's name and number because I'm going to be calling him when the time comes that
yes.
I can speak to him, and I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
leapfrog over this lady who's dismissing him, and that's going
Mm-hmm.
to be my client.
I'm back quiet. I yield. I yield the floor. Bam.
Wiley just dropped the mic on you, didn't he? It's like he it's
That's
like it's
something.
like he was there.
Man, that was he was there, and what I did was earlier. Just I didn't do exactly what I did, but I sent him the blueprint, what I'm doing, and he gave me the
Mm-hmm.
thumbs up. But I mean, I wanted to leave they called me star, but I was the one Anthony that sent him everything what I'm doing, and he gave me thumbs up. Keep doing what I'm doing. Matter of fact, what I was told.
Yeah,
So he
you're
doing what I'm
doing
doing.
great.
Beautiful.
You're doing
Beautiful.
great. It's unfolding beautifully for you. I'm glad this gal reached out back to you and
Yes,
leapfrogged
sir.
over that gal that dismissed you. That speaks volumes that she wants your business. And mind you, I always say it's the captain of the ship, and she's saying, "Hey, I'm your quarterback." That's
Yes.
valuable. That
Mm-hmm.
I want you to understand how valuable that is. That she's saying that you are her
Yes, sir.
client, and that's her way of saying you are my client.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank both of you
Yeah.
guys. Thank Goldilocks. Thank the family. Thank the tribe. Oh, I've been listening. I've been sucking it up. I've been listening.
And also,
I've been
Wiley,
All
quiet.
we
Wiley, you
did,
know,
all we did was lay a roadmap out. You
hmm
did the
Yes,
work.
sir. Yes, sir.
and I love
We
Wiley
can't do
how
that for you. Go ahead, Freedom. What?
I'm
Yes, sir.
sorry. I love how she told him she's going to build his team.
Yes.
Absolutely,
That's what she
she
said.
is that because that's what she does. Yep.
Yeah.
You get to the right person, folks. These people, and when you kind of spell out, hey, I'm looking for this, this, and this, and don't overload them with like, a dozen different things. Give them your
hmm
three top priorities that you're looking for that you want to do with your money because there's always time to grow later. Give them the top three and let them see what they tell you and how that materializes. And that's going to tell you if this person's for you or not for you, or you're going to know pretty quickly. But give them top
A-
three, and go from there and build.
Actually, Mr. Wiley, Mr. Freedom, I did. She asked me what was my objective. I told her I have one. I see I kind of have one direct thing that I want done, and I have two rules that I would like to try to follow. And she was asking me what's the one thing that I really want done. I said, well, I want every nickel of my money, every penny of my money. I needed to have a job. I needed to
There
go to
you
work.
go. he's been
I said,
he's been he's been stalking you, Wiley.
Yeah,
I
let me
said,
say
I
to
said,
that. Yeah, I've never
then
said
I,
every penny. I say
she
a
she said
dollar.
I'm writing that down. She said, and what's the two rules, might I ask? I said I'm a Warren Buffett fan. I said my number one rule is
Mm.
to absolutely under no circumstances to never lose money.
hmm
I said the number two rule is to follow rule number one.
there you go.
Well, that's going to be a tough one because you're gonna. I mean, depending on what your risk aversions are, you could
Right,
lose while
right.
you're gaining on another. So it's really not a
Absolutely.
loss. Sometimes it's a wash. So
Yeah,
be cognizant of that.
absolutely.
But you might be.
Absolutely.
You sound like Debo a little bit to me in my mind, where she goes, "If it's free, it's for me," and that was
Right.
annuities because guaranteed returns.
Absolutely.
So.
She asked me my directives. I just gave her my directives. What's my intentions?
Exactly. And that's what they have to deal with because you got to tell them, hey, okay, I'm the coach. You're the quarterback. Here's what I want the plays to be, and you gave her the plays. So now she knows what's in the playbook of where you want to go. She's going to start
Yes,
throwing
sir.
out those plays for you and bringing the team on board, saying, "Is this what you're talking about?" And then, as a coach, you're going to say, "Hey, let's make some adjustments."
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much, brother. Thank y'all so
Man,
much.
you did
Beautiful.
great. Good job. Great job.
Yeah, congratulations, man. This is I can't wait to hear because I know when you begin to follow up and to begin to further build on the relationships with these young ladies at the bank, these bankers, it's going to get even better from there, even better.
Well, she's saying
And
I'm
Thank you,
not
brother.
right
Love
there,
y'all.
but I got you.
yeah, and another state. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
she's in
got you.
Florida,
And
right?
she's not even in the state. She's multiple states away. Volumes.
Yes, sir.
That speaks volumes to how they want you as a client. Or she herself specifically does that she'll
hmm
get people to you. That does not happen for everybody. It really
Yeah.
does not.
Yes, sir.
And I love how she's just bypassing all of her colleagues in the bank in his state and in his city. She just stepped all over them and said she's
But
gonna
this
take
goes
them on
back
her
to what we
side.
talked about, Freedom Fighter, is clients want to work with the best folks, and they want those folks that have a mediocre of knowledge, that understand money mechanics, and if they understand even more than that and have a bit or sense of the knowledge on how money works, truly
Mhm.
works, that's the client they want because it's a
Right.
dream client. The unicorn is what we call it.
hmm
One more thing she said, y'all, and I'm gonna let y'all go. Like, before push for time. When I was explaining, I said I might have a little bit of, I don't know what this currency is going to be. She said, of course, she said because the dollar is definitely losing its value, and when the dollar loses value, of course, the currencies with the tariffs they're going to come up. And she said, this is the point she said. She said, I have certain wealth managers that deal directly with clients like you. He said, so I'm gonna look through and see what we can figure out. We'll talk again late at a later time. She said, but I got certain people I'm gonna set you up with that deals directly
So it
with.
sounds like she's going to get you under contract with those other folks that they'll be doing your exchange for you. You won't even have to do anything. They're going to
Mhm.
go negotiate rate. They're going to take care of you. All you got to do is sign the contract and step forward.
It's
Yes, sir.
amazing because exactly what Goldilocks has been sharing with tariffs and with rates. Also, this week, and we're going to touch on it tonight with Goldilocks articles that you had mentioned, Sparkplug, is where this banker told you that as the dollar loses its value and loses its power, the other currencies begin to go up. And that's exactly what is happening. In fact, Goldilocks put out an article yesterday that said exactly just that. It's like that banker was reading Goldilocks articles, but really it's the banker knowing and understanding the global markets, because this is exactly what Goldilocks has been sharing. And I'm not sure if you have saw the article, Sparkplug, but you obviously knew what she was saying when she said it.
Yes. I listened to your Mr. Freedom. I got when you put out your our videos, I really listen
Mhm.
to your stuff anywhere from 2 to 5 times because every time I listen to your calls, like I listen to it more than once, and every time I listen to it, I learn something different. I jot down. So yes, absolutely. I was screaming when you were saying it. I was screaming.
Because before the podcast came out that you heard it, she had already expressed that to you.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes,
Got it.
sir.
See, and that's just right. That's right in alignment with what Goldilocks has been sharing, because I only just parrot and repeat what I learned from Goldilocks. So it's just, that's just proof positive. Again, the amazing, powerful knowledge that Goldilocks has, and here again, the banker, you got firsthand, basically parroting and saying the same thing, seeing what Goldilocks is seeing, and shared it with you.
Yes, sir. Love y'all. Thank y'all, brother, so much.
Beautiful. We love you as well, my good man.
Hey, Freedom, that's so funny. He's ready to do his Freedom Fighter Wiley spiel. He's got it
Uh-huh.
down pat. He's all
Uh-huh.
prepared. He's got the suit pressed and cleaned, ready to go in. Shoes shine. They're like, "Hey,
Uh-huh.
we're going to do this for you." He was like, hold up. I had a whole presentation with slides and everything.
Right? She's like, shut up, boy. Let's just get on down to business here. I know what you're here for.
Yeah, shut,
Yeah,
yeah,
he ain't got
shut
no
me
time
down.
for that.
Just shut me down. Straight to the point. Straight to the point. Like, but okay, all right.
Oh man, she said, I'm gonna be your Dak Prescott. We're gonna get this thing done.
Spark plug. There are people who love to be in that position that they would just roll that carpet out, and
Mm,
unfortunately, a lot of gurus destroyed that people can't just
mm,
go to a bank and banks be forthright like that, which is a crying shame because it didn't have to be like it is. But
Yes, sir.
folks are still succeeding in the other way. But I hope that people find more willing participants inside the banking environment that are willing to have the conversations very open and honestly like you got from yours. And I hope we see
Yes, sir.
more of that going forward.
mhm.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. But thank you, Sparkplug. We appreciate your story, man. And hold on, hang on tight. You're gonna hear in a little bit when we get these articles exactly what that banker said to you is exactly what Goldilocks has been saying about tariffs and the market, the dollar going down, so forth and so on. The currencies will go up. We'll get into it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. All right. Next, we have someone who is very unique. She is the queen herself, Queen 10 Rings, Miss Lady Unique. If you can come to the mic, please.
Good evening. Good evening.
How you doing, young lady?
I'm doing good. Spark plug. You went in there and you plugged something and it sparked, didn't it? Go ahead on. You knew what you was doing. But
Spark plug.
that's excellent. That vibe that he has, that's unique to him. So congratulations, my
Yeah.
brother.
It's beautiful because, I was thinking about you when he was explaining his journey and how they just went straight to the point. With
Mhm.
your journey, it wasn't that easy. They didn't get straight to the point with you. But nonetheless, actually they sort of did get straight to the point, and then they sort of dropped the ball with, because initially, the branch manager, when you were walking out, came and told you that you're on their contact list for the exchange, and then you got to the point where they authenticated your currency, and then one of the bankers woke up and bumped his head and acted a fool, and then kind of backed out. You moved on, and then now that banker now wants to call you and say, "Hey, let's get back together. Let's reconcile." And you just moved on up to private bankers, moved up to advisory boards, moved on up to getting proposed to at the vegetable aisle in the grocery store, at the gas station. You talking about you got these meetings here. Oh, I got some community work today, so I can't be in the room. But then meanwhile, you come back with another ring from another wealth manager, another banker. So I'm just messing with you. I can't help it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just letting you just go ahead on. Just go ahead on.
But now, yesterday,
yeah,
you had, and folks, you all have heard Lady Unique's story. Many of you have. She's been as her and her were sitting on red to go for the RV, completely established, teams in place, ready for her currency to be exchanged. They're going to exchange her currency at a higher rate because she has her fiduciary that's going to do so. She has her financial advisors, her bank, and they're constantly keeping in contact with her, constantly reaching out to her. And just yesterday, Friday, she was invited to another meeting, and I believe you tell the story. You share with us
okay.
What happened yesterday.
Okay. Again, I was invited to a meeting at my bank with my senior banker. And this was, like I had shared before, everything is straight. We're just waiting for liquidity that day that we sit down and have our actual appointment. And I will say that thanks to Uncle Wiley, that and I shared that with him privately when he sent us that chart, that graph, and there was a few things in there that helped me tweak some things that I wanted to do and align that with my plans that I shared with my advisor, of course. And I reached back out to the bank because there is a question in there that would be directed to my banker. I had inquired about accounts for separate currencies.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what triggered, because then I got the very next day I got a phone call, and my banker was asking me could I come in. Just wanted to go ahead, and again, my trust and everything was supposed to be go time. Well, they wanted to review the trust and get my account already set up, which I thought was a little interesting. So when I got to the bank, I was met by security. That was the first. They had my name as they were having people sign in. So as I went in and in my banker's office, I thought it was one of her clients, but it was actually the vice president of the bank of that branch. So, so when I got there, I was getting ready to sit down outside the office, and she came to get me, and the security said, "No, here she is. She's here." And I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" So anyway, we sat down briefly, and the VP I had met him a while ago, but it had been a long time ago, so it didn't resonate with me. But he reintroduced himself to me. He was discussing my investments, and that he was very aware of it seems like I'm up to how his exact words, seems like you're well informed what's going on here. We want to make sure. He was reaffirming what I already understand,
and he's talking about the event.
Yes, but he was very careful on how he did that. So while he did, and he said, "Would you like some coffee?" And I said, "Oh, sure." So he went and got coffee, and we sat some more, and I took my documents out for them to review. And the wealth, the vice president of the wealth management firm that I had initially met with came in and presented herself again and said, "We want to work with you."
And is she the one that's on the outside of the
Nope,
branch?
she's on the inside. My
Gotcha.
my guy on the outside. He was aware that, but he couldn't make the meeting, but he knew what was going on because I keep him
Okay.
abreast of everything.
Got it. Okay.
So it
Mhm.
was kind of interesting because she went into more detail. Again, like it seemed like she was following up from that meeting that I had with the other wealth manager that
Mhm.
was trying to clean up aisle
Mhm.
13.
Right. Right.
So what they did was everything is in place. For them to actually go through and view the trust. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
she was like, "All right, we're going to go on and get this out." But she said, right now, she said, "I will be honest with you. Everything is all set to go. Now we have this validation of everything. Your trust is confirmed. Not
Mhm.
that we questioned it or anything, but the whole thing to me seemed like they were getting more and more prepped for when
More
it's
prepared.
time."
More
Yeah.
prepared. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right, right. So she
Mhm.
said, she said, "Well, I have to be honest, there may be fees, but you know what? You're not going to have to be bothered. No fees for that. So we'll just have everything
Mhm.
validated and everything for you." And the VP came back in of the branch. He came back in just to follow up, make sure I was satisfied with everything. And
Mhm.
he understood that I had, he said, "You're diversified, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, I am."
Mm. Mhm.
So with that, though, he said, "Well, we look forward to seeing you within the next 2-3 weeks." Like that, and I'm like, "Well, we shall
Mhm.
see, won't we?" You know. So
Mhm.
that was it, and I followed up, and I let
Mhm.
my advisor know from my private firm, and he responded, and he said, "Yep, okay, very good. I'm glad that went well for you." He said, "We're all set." He said, "You've been set." He said, "But that's
Mhm.
good." So that's it.
Hmm. Wow.
Hey, I got to chime in here a little bit.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to call you, Wiley.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm
Lady
floored.
Unique, my favorite Windy City girl. I'm telling you. You know what? I don't think a lot of folks know this. She introduced her private wealth manager to her bank, sat them down at lunch. Everybody's on the playing board. She's not playing checkers. She's playing chess. She put everybody on the board, and everybody's cards got laid out. Who's doing what and how she's got things assigned. She did not leave it to chance. Then she took a trust structure I gave her.
Mhm.
What'd you spend 3 nights on that or something? Because we DM back and forth a little bit. Next thing I know, you got another appointment to go in there and make sure you got things sorted how you wanted them to come out.
Yeah, I mean, your notes, everything that you give us is awesome, and some of the stuff I'm like, wait a
Mhm.
minute, I saw that over here, but oh, wait a minute, I forgot about this right here. But I'm gonna tell you what really pieced it together when you put when you shared that diagram.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm like, all right, 2 times 2 is so. Oh, yeah, let me put this over here. Let me put this right here. Oh, boom, let me say this right here. And so I didn't share this, and I didn't tell you, but when I read when I resubmitted some stuff how as I educate myself to learn, and one of the teams, he replied back to me, said he said, "This is awesome. Can you let us do our job?"
That is awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
Freedom, how would you like to be her first banker? Have to come back to her, goes, hey, girl, it wasn't you. It was me.
Right. They're all pointing the
You,
Yeah.
finger
you
at each
know
other.
that you know that banks had private closed doors conversation with that guy. Said you do not do this again. No one
Hmm.
walks out of here like that.
Evidently, because I just thought it because that was the second time. Um, the meeting prior to that I had, she was trying to have the wealth manager from that firm come in, and I said no, I'm fine, and then they finagled a way to get them in anyway. So I had to laugh. I said I just had to
Yeah.
laugh. So they pulled out the vice president of the and then the vice president of the wealth management advisory management is the one that did the validation and everything of the trust. Again, saying that they knew my trust was all right because when I had it notarized, it was notarized by a relationship manager at my bank.
Yeah, because you had talked to me and
Mm-hmm.
we were going to do some massaging on it. I said, you know
Yeah,
what? Before we do anything, take it to the bank and see if
yeah,
it passes compliance.
yeah, and they kept putting it off.
Mm-hmm.
So now with everything lining up, I guess they say, hey, we better go ahead on and do this, So
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
my advisory firm was not was there. They were fine, and when I needed to do what I wanted to do, they said that would be no problem, But right
Yeah.
now, it's boom, bada bing.
Let me flip the script on you here just a little bit because I know you've been on both sides of this. I know you've been in the guru side and heard things that have been going on out there, and I know how sorted you are, locked and loaded you are right now to go. Anything that you heard on that guru side about the banks are going to do this or redemption centers are going to do that and this, that, any of that playing out for you inside the bank?
No, 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 no.
imagine,
They're
imagine,
never
imagine,
no.
imagine where you would be if you did have that breath guru stop talk. Would you
That's
be?
probably why I got choked up, and the Lord said, "Come on over here and check out Freedom Fighter, Goldilocks, and Wiley." Because, like I said, when I finally hooked up with you guys, I was ready. I was done almost because I
You
was trying to
were
make. Oh,
you were raw when you came to us, and you were very moldable, and you
yeah,
were hungry for it because I sensed it because you reached out to me, and I'm like, go ask this,
Mm-hmm.
go do this,
yeah,
apply that,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
do this, and you did it. You didn't wait. You did it that next morning.
yeah,
And I'm like, oh, this girl's a go getter. She wants this in the worst way. So that's why I was willing to help you. And I know we had to, Freedom Fighter myself, we wrapped our arms around you, had to redirect you a little bit. And it got even better. And it just continues to get better. And
yeah. And I
I
appreciate it.
love the power play your private wealth manager played and wear his logo polo to the meeting with your bank saying, we got her, stand down. You're just there for money. We're going to do
Yeah,
the
Uh-huh.
investing. And
yeah,
it's just like,
yeah. That's
ooh,
true. Yeah, and
okay.
like I said, I didn't. There was a lot of that day that he was there with me, and I wasn't because I was so focused, and there was a lot of activity outside the office because there it's big glass walls and stuff so you can see outside. But anyway, and it never dawned on me until my senior banker kind of grinned and winked, and I'm like, huh? And she put her hand
Yeah.
up over her mouth, trying to
Yeah.
hide that grin. So,
Let me
mm-mm.
ask you one other question too, because I know where you are in this and I know who you're with and how structured you are. How long have you
Hmm.
been working this for yourself to get where you are? Not just to get to where the assets can be dropped, but all your structure, all your conversations, all the nuances. How long have you been doing this to get where you are now?
Oh my goodness. Uh,
Almost a year, hasn't it?
yeah, I hooked up with you guys in May of last year.
Okay, so May till now, so about a year.
Yeah, yes,
Mm-hmm.
If you
yeah.
think you're walking to some bank and going to drop all this on them and structure it in a 15-minute or whatever they're telling you, it ain't happening, folks. It
It
ain't
ain't.
Mm-hmm.
happening. You're
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
simply getting an exchange, end of story, move on down the road and come back later to get it sorted because
Mm-mm.
they don't have the kind of time to do this in a small meeting. These are conversations that have to be in depth, methodical,
Mm-hmm.
thought out, processed. Compliances have to be checked.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Because they didn't
Wow.
tell us all of this at all. All they told us is, yeah, the one with the group I started with, that's where I wound up being, find out about a trust. But the explanation of what you needed to do, what you needed to do was never at this level. All it was about is going and get your money. And
Money,
that's it.
there's so much more to money than
Mm-hmm.
just money
Exactly.
itself. Money's a tool, it's a
Mm-hmm.
mechanism, and if you work it right, it will always be there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't tell you. They don't. That's the whole thing with the guru fusiality. Um, the there's no
Superficiality.
education. Yeah, there's no education about what you're doing, and that's why I love Goldilocks and you got and Freedom Fighter and and what you share with us and teach us, because and I'm sure everybody has got to do what they got to do, and things that and I've shared with you privately, but things that I've had to walk through. I can't leave. I just can't not take and make an opportunity and a blessing like this go and with the knowledge and understanding of why things happen, and how it can be a betterment for, like I said, for myself, family, and I'm sure that's the same everybody's thinking, but um, my personal walk has made it more and more, um, my due diligence. Like I said, when I started, I used to do my own homework, and some of the stuff they were saying never made sense until I was guided to you guys. And well, you know the history.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
let me ask you, because I know the answer to it, and I know Free knows the answer to it. How do you feel you've changed, and do you see how you've made a change yourself and how you look at this, how you handle it, and how you go about business? Do you see that shift in yourself from where you started to the woman today and where she's at and who she's dealing with?
Yes, I feel, um, there's definitely a mindset change in me, and it's been instilled also through what you're teaching, but also when you're walking in and doing it at the same time. I even approach my everyday life living situations and bills and things, how I can manage, how this is going to be a little bit better for me and whatever. And I'm looking more towards what's in front versus what's behind.
Yeah, you can't
And I
change
have
the
a piece
past,
of
but you
that.
can change the
No,
future. Absolutely.
exactly. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So that's my whole focus. What's in front of me, what's behind me is behind me. Um, Lessons learned along the way, but
Mm-hmm.
with this and the wisdom and things that are shared here in the education, um, totally. And I will say this on the side, like when I'm doing my work in the community, and trying to address and certain things we've tried to help people deal with that's hitting them economically. I've tried to explain a little to help them understand what to do financially for themselves in the future. Some get it, and some are really hurting, and I understand that. But I see where my path is, and where I want to invest in, how I want to use that investment, and for that investment to grow, and how to make sure that it's secured. I just, I'm telling you, you done blow the girl's brain up. All right.
Yeah. Well, Freedom, I got one more for her before I let you
Certainly.
get back to
Certainly.
her. I mean, I feel kind of like she's been just like a little child I've had from the start, and I've nurtured into this wealth monster. But
Right.
folks, I want you to know something about Lady Unique that she would never tell about herself. She has not had it easy, and it has been a struggle and a climb for her to achieve this. She has everyday problems like everybody else, but it's her attitude, her mindset, and the way she goes about it that changes the dynamic for her. She just comes out smelling like roses every time
Mm,
because of that. And she does not let it get her down, and most people would. And I understand everyone has down days, but she has the ability to say, I'm the one who has to dig me out. And I'm
mm,
not going to sit here and cry and spilt milk, because that's not going to do anything but just leave me in crying over spilt milk. I've
that's
got to
right.
do something to make a change, to make positivity and good things happen. And that's what she does every single time that she asks for advice. We give it, and she goes and implements it. And she does it the next day. Grass does
Mm-hmm.
not grow under her
Mm-mm.
feet,
Mm-mm.
period.
Mm, I ain't
All
got no
right.
time. Well, it's the Lord touching me and getting me the angels to help me get there. He knows what I got to do, and with you guys and the family, and I mean, hey, can't nobody and everybody
Well,
got to do what you need to do. So,
well, I
Yeah.
want you to know, we see you, girl, and we see how hard you go, and we see
Mm-hmm.
how much work and effort you put into this. You
Mm-hmm.
treat it like a job, and that's what it takes to be this kind of success. Because once you treat it like that and you get it set, then you become a manager of your other folks who are doing the job.
oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And then eventually you become the CEO of your
Right.
business and of your finances as you're watching other people make this money grow as they make money making you money. And it will
Mm-hmm.
never end as long as you treat it well. That's the
Thank you.
power of wealth.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you. That
Exactly.
CEO part that I really had to dig into that. Not I didn't have far to dig because I was like, no, I'm running this. Especially after that one incident. That's when I really said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you and Freedom Fighter really helped me adjust to that and look at that. And I took that, like
Mm-hmm.
I said, and I tell others, just because you got kicked down, you didn't get knocked out. That's something you learn from
That's
and
right.
keep on going.
That's
Hey,
right.
hey, hey, Frida Potter.
Mm-hmm.
I love they tell her, would you just sit back and let us do our job?
Right.
We've tried hiring you twice.
Right. Literally, she had turned him down.
Twice.
Yeah, for all y'all listening to this, Lady Unique it could have actually been a banker, a high level source banker, high contact. She turned the job down. That's beautiful.
Oh,
Nah, Lay Unique. I love having you on. I love your attitude towards this.
Mhm.
And if Peculiar Ram don't come on tonight and sing "You Got the Power," I'm going to be disappointed.
yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you
Oh,
so much, Lady
thank
Unique.
you
And
guys.
also we want to thank you for just being you, helping in the room. You are one of several who have reached the level of success and being set up with your bankers, but still reaching back and helping other people, reaching back and just helping others. We appreciate you doing that more than you can imagine.
Well, it's my sincere pleasure. And like I said, I got help. It's wrong if I don't help,
Yeah.
reach back out and help. So
Thank
got
you
to
so
do it.
much. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
beloved. Yes,
All right.
ma'am. All right, beautiful. All right, folks, we are going to get into exactly, and it's amazing, Wiley, how Sparkplug and his update and Lady Unique's update as of yesterday, they coincide, the timing of their meetings and what was discussed in their meetings. I find to be very, very telling.
Absolutely, there's more going on behind scenes than what truly being said or what gurus are making up and leading people to believe.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Awesome. And you mentioned something earlier, Wiley, a few minutes ago, I should say, with Lady Unique and about what the gurus are saying to people, really to keep them, it's really unfortunate. And we're going to touch on it tonight. Is people are being misled, therefore they're not in a position to be prepared for the RV, and it's very unfortunate. It's very sad that so
Yeah.
many people, so we just do the
Well, I don't
best we
want people
can.
to misunderstand what we're saying. They're not. They are going to get exchanged. That's a foregone conclusion. That's going to happen.
Hmm.
But it's just the structuring and the detail and the wealth
Yeah.
aspect that comes with it, because there's a
Right.
very, very big difference. And you know this from where you worked overseas in the bank. It's a
Hmm.
very difference in being rich and being wealthy. Rich is
Yeah.
temporary. It can disappear overnight. Wealthy,
Right.
they know how money works and they always have it working.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Beautiful. All right. Let's get into it because, folks, what you're about to hear directly from the articles by Goldilocks, again, it confirms what you heard by Sparkplug. They confirm what you heard from Lady Unique, um, and it's just awesome. As a matter of fact, there is Peculiar Ram. If you can come on, let's get right into this because we're going to jump right into something. Actually, folks, what you're going to hear first from Peculiar Ram and what you're going to hear last from Peculiar Ram, both by Goldilocks, confirms what Sparkplug, the banker, told Sparkplug about tariffs, about the dollar becoming weak with against other currencies, and therefore other currencies becoming stronger. You're going to hear that directly from Goldilocks, that Peculiar Ram is going to read first and last. So if you haven't gotten to the point where you've made the steps to get yourself prepared at the banks, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. We wish you well. We're here for you if you need our help, but it's best that you do so you can be the next spark plug or the next Lady Unique. All right? Peculiar Ram, you ready, my good lady?
I am. I'm sorry. I got the hiccups.
Oh, my
But I'm here.
Lord.
Peace, everybody. Happy Saturday, fam. How y'all doing?
The hiccups.
I got the hiccups.
Oh, my Lord. All right, let's jump right into this first one, which actually wasn't on our schedule tonight, but I had to go pull it out. But the last one is, if you can read this confirms exactly what Sparkplug, the banker said to Sparkplug about tariffs, about the dollar getting weak. This is what Goldilocks shared just a few days ago. If you can read this for us real quick, please. Oh, and when she says greenback, folks, in this article, when Goldilocks references the greenback being that the U.S. dollar is green, that's what it means. That's the terminology. Greenback is the U.S. dollar. Go ahead, young lady.
The greenback is no longer trading as a traditional safe haven. The loss of the U.S. dollar's safe haven status, driven by U.S. policy, uncertainty, and tariff-induced recession fears, has led to significant appreciation in the yen, Swiss franc, and euro, with non-traditional currencies like the yuan gaining marginal traction. Gold and other assets are also see increased demand. Sorry.
The greenback, which is the U.S. dollar, Goldilocks is sharing, is no longer trading as a traditional safe haven. The loss of the U.S. dollar's safe haven, meaning the loss of the U.S. dollar's global power, is weakening. This is what Goldilocks is sharing. You heard what the banker just told Sparkplug. And what was the date that Goldilocks put this out, young lady?
May 21st.
May 21st. Folks, that was just 10 days ago. Mm-hmm. And here's Sparkplug's banker saying to him the same thing. Now we're going to get into about the getting prepared with the banks, ladies and gentlemen. And then, like I said, the last thing that Peculiar Ram is going to read, we're going to get to him in a little bit, from Goldilocks, again confirms exactly what the banker said to Sparkplug. And this ties into, again, the topics tonight: how currency exchange rates happen. That's one. Two, banks are getting prepared for the RV. And you heard from Lady Unique and also Sparkplug the preparedness of these banks. And then third, you need to prepare for the RV. You see, that's what Sparkplug and Lady Unique have been doing. All right, let's get right into the this is gonna get good. What did you think about what did you think about what you never mind. You gotta get them hiccups under I heard that one.
Very powerful first half. I really enjoyed it. I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And Lady Unique, I just want to say, sister, I love you so much. And I just love your testimonies. And I love you and Wiley together. You guys are so cute. I love it.
They're like uncle and niece.
I love it.
I love it. I love it too. It's amazing. All right. Now let's get into the first one by Goldilocks. Folks, we're going to get into how, and this goes back to what Wiley was mentioning earlier about a lot of the things that you've been told, folks, about how currency exchange, how they're going to happen, what's involved. It's not what you've been told. Goldilocks has been sharing for the longest of how currency exchange happened. You have bankers that are confirming with our members how currency exchange happened and how they're getting prepared. Let's jump right into the first one. Go ahead.
Yes, the values of currencies can definitely change due to new demands arising from global trading with local currencies. This is because the demand for a currency in the foreign exchange market directly impacts its value.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a more detailed explanation. Demand and supply. The price of a currency, its exchange rate, is determined by the forces of supply and demand in the foreign
One second.
exchange market, I'm sorry.
Yes, you're good. Demand and supply. The price of a currency, folks, its exchange rate is determined by the forces of supply and demand of that currency in the forex market. Folks, this is directly, and our Goldilocks shares the links for you can see this for yourself. The price or the exchange rate of a currency does not come from budget tables, the Gazette, nobody saying, oh, just raise the value. None of that. It doesn't come from the assets under the ground. It's supply and demand. Although assets and in-ground assets plays a part in the value, this is not how the exchange rates change. If you can read that first one again, if you demand and supply, if you can read that again, I want folks to really understand this. This is how currency exchanges happen, folks. And then we're going to see how, with what's happening in the global news right now with tariffs, is how it's transforming to where the exchange rates will change. Go, young lady. Supply and demand. One more time.
The price of a currency, its exchange rate, is determined by the forces of supply and demand in the foreign exchange market.
That's how much of that currency is in demand, and if it's available, supply, and then demand is how many people want it and what are they using it for. If it's for goods and services that are being transported on the water around the world, that's the demand for that currency. This is where Goldilocks is sharing about tariffs and trade. This is why Goldilocks has always coined the phrase, watch the water, because it is through currency, supply, and demand through trade on the water, whereby the price of a currency in its exchange rate is determined by supply and demand of the dong in the forex market. The exchange rate is determined for the Iraqi dinar through supply and demand, the bolivar, supply and demand, every currency, supply and demand, US dollar, supply and demand. The exchange rate is determined by the supply of the dinar or the dong or whatever currency, and the demand in the global market for the dinar, for the dong, or whatever currency. Increased demand, higher value. Go ahead, young lady.
I thought you was going to start rapping for a second. Increased demand, higher value. When there's a greater demand for a currency because of increased global trading in that currency, its value tends to rise, meaning it takes more of another currency to buy one unit of the currency in demand.
Mm-hmm.
Decreased demand, lower value. Conversely, if demand for a currency decreases, its value falls as it becomes less valuable relative to other currencies.
Now, this is exactly what Sparkplug's banker told him about the US dollar in relation to other currencies, right or wrong?
Right.
This is what Goldilocks has been sharing, folks. Goldilocks has never said anything about budget tables and Sadani going to the US and coming back and blah, 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 and all this other poppycock. Go ahead, young lady.
Factors influencing demand. Several factors can influence the demand for a currency, including global trade patterns, economic conditions, interest rates, and political stability.
Mm-hmm.
If a local currency is used more in global trade, the demand for that currency may increase, leading to its appreciation, rising value, compared to other currencies. In essence, the value of a currency is directly linked to its demand in the foreign exchange market, and global trade patterns significantly influence this demand.
Global trade patterns significantly influence the currency's demand. we are in the midst of a trade war that's called tariffs. The global trade patterns significantly influence that currency's demand. And this in Goldilocks shares directly from the organizations how currency shapes global trade, exchange rates, investment, and stability. It's right here. In fact, so what we did was we took right from the actual article of it's telling you how currency shapes global trade, and you click on the link, and the first paragraph reads what under lesson summary, Pekujaran?
Changes in the supply of or demand for a currency will cause that currency to appreciate or depreciate.
So appreciate, folks, just in case someone's not aware, appreciate means the increase, and depreciation is the decrease in value. So the appreciation or the depreciation. Go ahead.
The demand for a currency changes based on other countries wanting to buy goods, services, or assets using that currency. The supply of a currency changes based on how much people using that currency want the goods, services, or assets in other countries.
So the goods and the assets in other countries. So as with tariffs, with trade, where these countries, remember, they're trading on the water, goods, services, and products. So when countries are shipping, like out of Vietnam, they're shipping, whether it's semiconductors, whether it's agriculture, corn, wheat, whether it's cell phone device, whatever it is that they are, those are goods. Therefore, as they're shipping those goods in and outside of their countries through trade, through supply and demand is what will determine the exchange rates. Okay. Now this is Goldilocks sharing with us, educating us how currency exchange rates happen. And this is directly from the sources educating you of how they happen. Now we're going to get into preparing to understand what the banks know and what we've been sharing for you as well, so that you get prepared. The banks are getting prepared. You heard that directly from Sparkplug and Lady Unique, and every other member that have been sharing their bank stories for the last 7-8 months or so. Now let's get into a little more. Let's get into what the banks also are preparing for. I should say what they already are prepared for, and how they are preparing for the changes that are coming in the banking system. There's no coincidence the uptick of wealth managers. We're hearing members speaking of how they're getting phone calls and emails all of a sudden from wealth managers that they haven't heard from in a while. All right, let's get into this thing. Basel III, folks. So when it comes to Basel III, this is the end game. Basel III, the capital requirements for all banks, folks, which many of you have been paying attention. These requirements of banks for capital, gold reserves, and foreign currency exchange reserves, whereby on July 1st, which is the end game, whereby we're going to see where gold will be considered a tier 1 asset in the banking systems. Go ahead, young lady. This is the first paragraph here.
Okay. Basel III regulations, while not directly impacting exchange rate themselves, can indirectly influence them by affecting bank capital and the overall financial system stability. These changes can impact capital flows and the availability of credit, which in turn can influence exchange rates.
Folks, when it speaks of credit, this is not credit whereas you or someone you know go in and want to get a credit card. This is credit between banks themselves and how banks do business. So Basel III regulations, while not directly impacting exchange rates themselves, can indirectly influence exchange rates by affecting bank capital, meaning the money they have in reserves and their overall financial stability, which also, as of July 1st, will include gold as a tier 1 asset, also will include the foreign currency reserves that these banks have, whereby these banks now have a more safer, more structured bank policies in the event that there is a financial crisis. Our money, whenever we exchange, Whatever money you have in the banks will be much safer as a result. Let's get into the next one, beloved.
The next article.
Yes.
Okay. Basel III does not make the dollar directly backed by gold. Instead, it modifies how banks can calculate their capital reserves, allowing them to count physical gold as a high-quality liquid asset. This change means banks can now include gold as a Tier 1 asset alongside cash and government securities when determining their reserve requirements.
I'm going to do something that I normally don't do.
Mhm.
I'm going to read that again. This change
Mhm.
means banks can now include gold as a what?
Tier 1 asset.
Tier 1 asset. What I want to do real quick, Lady Unique and Sparkplug, if you can unmute real quick. Lady Unique.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hold tight. Read that again for us, Peculiar Ram. Tier 1 asset. If you can read that again.
This change means banks can now include gold as a Tier 1 asset.
Sparkplug, when you went to, don't mention the name of the bank, but was it a Tier 1 bank that you went to and began to establish your relationship?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's all I needed to know. Thank you. We're going to come back to you in a minute. Lady Unique, what about you?
Yes, it's a Tier 1 bank.
Boom. Thank you, beloved. We'll come back to you. I know, Peculiar Ram, you did this as well. What about you?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, now let's get into here's a more detailed explanation. So here we have Goldilocks giving us a more detailed explanation of preparing us with the banks. Go ahead, young lady.
Basel III Endgame. The Basel III regulations, specifically the Endgame rules, aim to strengthen bank capital requirements and improve the global banking system's resilience.
The global banking system's resilience. This is global, folks. This is not just the United States. This is every single bank and the central banks that are essential to the whole entire RV. You think of the Central Bank of Iraq, they're Basel III compliant. That's where you have your dinars from. The Central Bank of Vietnam, our dongs. That's where you get your dongs from. They're Basel III. All these banks, they're all prepared. They've been getting prepared for the last several years. Go ahead, young lady.
Gold as a Tier 1 asset. Starting July 1st, 2025, U.S. banks can include physical gold in their Tier 1 capital calculations. This means they can count gold at its full market value toward their reserve requirements.
Mm-hmm.
No direct gold standard. While gold is now recognized as a high-quality asset, this doesn't mean the U.S. dollar is returning to a gold standard. The dollar is still backed by the U.S. government's creditworthiness and its ability to generate revenue through taxes and debt.
So just so you all know, when it comes to a gold standard, that is another announcement and process that will come from the Basel Committee, not from the Basel III Endgame. But it's still, nonetheless, it's still in motion. Where gold as a Tier 1 asset is essential. Then with digital asset regulations, essential that's incoming. All of this will back our currencies and give our currencies and the banks the strength, resilience, and confidence to move forward in the new banking system, whereby our currencies will be in the new digital banking asset-based trading system, and we can move forward. Go ahead, young lady. You can continue.
Implications. This change could lead to increased institutional demand for gold, potentially driving its price up.
What may increase the price of gold going up? Demand. What will increase the price of our currencies going up? Demand. Go, young lady.
It also signals a potential shift towards a greater role for gold in the global monetary system.
Mm-hmm.
This is a huge shift in how regulators perceive gold, and it's a long overdue recognition of what many of us have known for decades. Gold is money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the kind of money you want to own when the world is on fire.
Literally. I like how Goldilocks put that, folks, because literally gold will sustain its value and its strength, even through a fire. Because it cannot, fire cannot burn it. Fire cannot destroy gold. All right. Now, directly from that Goldilocks is sharing, this is directly from the link. We did put a screenshot for y'all to see. Gold goes full reserve asset. Basel III elevates it to tier 1 status. If you can read in yellow, please, beloved, appreciate it.
Yes. As of July 1st, 2025, gold will officially be classified as a tier 1 high quality liquid asset under the Basel III banking regulations. That means U.S. banks can count physical gold at 100% of its market value toward their core capital reserves.
What is the date of this article that Goldilocks put this out?
May 16th, 2025.
Tier 1. Now, folks, I just posted into the room the 8 steps that everyone has been following that are in the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room. What is number 1? We have 8 steps. What's number 1 on this list? Because you ran?
Find a tier 1 bank.
A tier 2?
A tier 1.
A tier 3?
A tier uno.
A redemption center?
Nah.
And folks, this list we've been sharing with you. This goes back 7-8 months ago that we brought that. Thanks to Glass Half Full and Jan, and I believe and Brunette Grand, that we put this list out. The number 1, numero uno.
That's right.
Find a tier 1 bank. And now, what are we seeing? Gold goes full reserve asset as Basel III elevates to a tier 1 status. Folks, do you think it's a coincidence that Wiley, myself, the tribe, Goldilocks, for almost a year have been educating you to establish relationships and obtain an account at a tier 1 bank? Do you see what we've been preparing you for almost a year? Folks, this isn't black and white. This is direct. This is actual information you can vet yourself. You don't need to go behind the Piggly Wiggly to confirm this. There's no secret redemption centers and buildings being built for the RV, for the exchange of anything, for the redemption of anything. There's none of that. Here you have the actual banking system preparing where gold will be a tier 1 asset as of July 1st, 2025 in our banking systems. This is something that, is there any confirmations of, well, you can't confirm that a redemption center is going to be a tier, because aren't they secret? Aren't they like, no one knows about them? They're just going to pop up?
Yeah, they're pop-up shops.
Lord have mercy.
Sell makeup and lashes at the pop-up shop at the redemption center with your Zim bond.
Folks, you invested, you made an investment. Your preparation for it is so key. Preparing for this blessing, not preparing for this blessing is sort of like telling God you're not even grateful.
Facts.
Because you are just fully dependent on a stranger on the internet who sounds good, says things that you just want to hear. They tickle your ears with what you just love to hear. And you become tone deaf to facts, whereby you don't have any verifiable research. You heard tonight just how with Lady Unique, how she does her research and her homework with what Goldilocks puts out and what especially with what Wiley drops in the gems. You heard Sparkplug, the same thing. Sparkplug stocks Goldilocks, stocks Wiley's room and the information and the gems that he shares in the QFS dialogue room, so that he was so prepared to go into the tier 1 bank with his Wiley and Freedom spiel. He didn't get a chance to do it. He was so prepared. Are you prepared at all, folks? Is your preparedness, are you prepared by repeating what you hear on channels, guru channels, by repeating what you hear from social media with gurus putting out? Is that what you call being prepared? This is why you don't have the results that a lot of people that are prepared have. And we just want you to be able to see for yourself how you deserve the same blessing, but it comes from being prepared. Now, again, in fact, Sparkplug, if you can unmute real quick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you could share with us, because what you shared before, I want you to share it again, because someone may have just come on the line on the call and missed what you said, what the banker said to you about tariffs and about the U.S. dollar getting weak in comparison to other currencies. If you can share that discussion,
Yes,
how that do that for us, because it's going to tie into what we're going to read next by Goldilocks. Go ahead.
I spoke to her and I just said that I feel that I have some foreign currency and I feel that it's going to revalue soon, or maybe move more back. She said absolutely. She said because the dollar is weak, and when the dollar goes weak, she said the currency is going to go strong. So she said I'm absolutely correct. It is we are about to revalue.
Boom. Thank you. I appreciate it, beloved. Now, Peculiar Ram, if you could read what Goldilocks just put out yesterday. This is it. This is powerful. This is exactly what the banker told Sparkplug. This is by Goldilocks. Remember, this is by Goldilocks. Go ahead, young lady.
We are witnessing an acceleration of events take place, and it is important to note that low-frequency vibrations cannot coexist with high-frequency vibrations. We are living in a time whereby high-frequency vibrations are beginning to take over. It is important for all of us to assess where we are inside of ourselves going forward. The new monetary system is weeding out what is unnecessary and dark. Please stay open to the changes currently being made. Like it or not, the role of the dollar is in the midst of change as we speak. The dollar, as we know it, is gone. It is going through a liquidation process. Yes, the dollar is going through a liquidation process. Before long, you may hear the dollar being referred to as a unit of account. The banking system is used to this terminology already. The fiat system is giving way to a digital asset-based trading system. The value of all assets going forward are in transition. Stay tuned. And for God's sake, watch the water.
Does this Sparkplug, you can come back on. Lady Unique, you as well, please. Lady Unique, you can unmute, please. Does this now again confirm? Is this the same thing that the banker told you what Goldilocks has shared?
Yes, sir. Blown away.
Wow.
Yeah, and the VP that was speaking with me, he spoke around those terms, but I knew exactly what he was saying. And when I saw the article from Goldilocks, that just knocked the ball right out the park.
Now, Sparkplug, Lady Unique, Peculiar Ram, can you just imagine anyone that isn't aware? And it's unfortunate so many people are not just, hell, we can just think of yourselves,
Mhm.
where you were at one time,
Yep.
following the Guru Fufu to where you are now. If you guys can share with anyone, Sparkplug, I'm coming to you, and then Lady Unique to you. Sparkplug, if you can share with anyone who is where you were at one time with the Guru Fufu-ness, and if you can share with someone, this is your moment to reach back and help someone, Sparkplug. If you can reach back and help someone the way that Wiley, myself, and the tribe helped you, what are you going to say to someone right now? Reach back to them.
From you, from Goldilocks, Mr. Wiley, Mr. Freedom. We got 3 Super Bowl winning coaches. And we've been in training, we've been in practice, and it's time to win. The question isn't not why. The question isn't why you. The question is why not you. So as a man thinketh, so is he.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go get it. When you say when you and Mr. Wilder we talk about 1%, the minute popped in my mind is 8.5 billion people, and you say 1%. Everybody is called, but only a few are chosen. And if you're here, you are chosen.
That's right.
Let's go win the game. It's game time. Let's
There
go
you
get
go.
them.
Thank you, beloved. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Powerful. Lady Unique, if you could reach back right now and help just one person to get where you are, to help get them out of the rut they're in, the anxiety, the confusion, the weekly roller coasters, up and down, the foolishness, the foo-fooism, as you call it. If you could reach back to one of them right now, what would you say?
Why are you still listening to them? Why are you still listening to them?
Mhm.
We got 8 steps. Pay attention and understand what you're doing. It's for you and yours. Understand the 8 steps. Don't just walk them. Understand why you're walking them. This is an investment into you and yours and someone else you may be able to help later on. Why keep listening to notifications coming out this week? Well, we had a problem over here. How long you been hearing it? Come on over. We got real, live, honest people sharing knowledge to help us gain. And the beauty of it is they don't charge you a dime. It's free. Come get it. Put your shoes on or take them muddy boots off.
Mhm.
Let's do this.
Is that from the boots on the ground?
Yeah, them dirty boots, honey. Them boots. Them what boots them ground? What ground them boots on? Okay,
Right.
mud. We walking on some steady ground here,
There
y'all.
you go. There
Them
you
other
go.
boots just walking in mud.
Yep.
Peculiar Ram, if you could reach back right now and you can help someone, just one, what would you say to help them, beloved?
I would just say be obedient. Um, be obedient to what you feel in your spirit that's calling you, that's pulling you away from that guru fufu. It's because time is winding down and there's an acceleration, like Goldilocks says, but also spiritually. Hence why we have so many people, new people coming into the group and learning and putting to work what they see, the 8 steps, the advice, everything. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And in order to obtain that, you have to put in the work. Like Freedom said at the beginning, what is there to be proud of when you're just sitting back waiting for notifications? The blessing is in the work. The blessings is in the action. The journey is everything that you're doing now. This is just as important as after you get your inheritance. So to whom much is given, much is required. So if you're going to be the trailblazer for your family, break generational curses, all these things that we want to do, give back, we have to put in the work. And it doesn't come by sitting on the sidelines, being scared, taking half of what we say, but then also going to other
Mhm.
groups to try to substantiate what we're saying or to validate what they're
Mhm.
saying. You're going to
Mhm.
remain on the fence and you will be left behind.
Mhm.
Um, like brother said before, many are called, but few are chosen. Are you going to be one of the chosen ones? The real chosen one, not that guru
Right.
group,
Right.
the
Right.
real chosen one. So I
Exactly.
just want to encourage you guys. Um, there's so many leaders in the group, man. It's almost impossible to fail
Mhm.
because you are in good hands, and Spirit led you here for a reason, and that's all I want to say.
Beautiful. Powerful. Thank you so much. Powerful. Wiley, you ready to? Wiley, you good to go? You ready to take us home? We good to go? Wiley's still here?
Where Wally at?
Yeah, I see him. Okay,
Wally.
he might be there.
Hey,
He
I'm
is.
good to go.
Good to go. All right. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. Beautiful. Lady Unique, Spark Plug, Peculiar Ram, as always. Thank you all for sharing and caring, being such great inspirations and folks that are listening to this. All you got to do is click the link at the top of the description and join the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room. You can join us as well. We will help you to get to where these folks are. We will help you with the 8 steps. That's all it is. It's 8 steps. And get yourself prepared for this blessing that God has bestowed upon you.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, have a good night. Be well, be kind, show someone some love, be patient as well with any and everyone as much as you can, and get yourself together. We love you both, beautiful people. Everyone, have a good night. Ciao, ciao.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the number one source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.